to try to dress that thing. And I've still only hit it here and up there. I haven't touched any of this or any of that. So now I'll try the jointer. You don't want that to happen abruptly. And you want to check it fairly frequently. It's coming down. I still have some correcting to do. One thing that I'm seeing, though, that you need to be aware of is that by taking that facet off of the corner of that piece, I have crowned it now. So this stick isn't sitting flat enough. So that's more to take off. Now, thinking backwards from measuring the antique chest, the oak will shrink proportionally less in this dimension, in the radial dimension, than it will in the growth ring, the tangential dimension. So here I want to finish at 1 7/8, and I've marked it at 2 1/16. And that will leave me, when this piece dries out a good bit, that'll leave me enough so that I can plane off some more, get a fresh surface fore and aft, and come down to that 1 7/8. I'll still have enough wood to get it. Keeping in mind, talking about that distinction between the radial face and the tangential, this one cuts each. You could do it all with your scrub plane. You could do it at a shaving horse with a draw knife. I tend to just use the hatchet to take the bulk of it and then plane it. And the function of it is to leave the increased thickness here for the groove that the floorboards fit in, and then remove this whole bevel just to sort of make the interior of the chest a little neater. It reduces the weight by an infinitesimal amount, and then transitions up to the thinner components, the muntin and the panels up here. At least that's my speculation as to why it's done. We don't really know why, but I know that on all of these chests by the Savills in Braintree, all the floorboards, all the floor rails, the front and end floor rails are done this way. Working up all the long stock, you often end up with an offcut of varying lengths that can become muntins, or in this case the end rail to the chests, the top rail. So this is 20 inches long and 4.5 inches broad, and it's got a extra thickness here. I've marked it out, so that chunk can come off with hewing. There's a swath of it here, but on this edge it's pretty close to its finished dimension, so it's just that pie shape that needs to come away. So you can certainly hew all that off easily enough, but sometimes I'll go to the trouble of getting out the throw, the club, and splitting some of that off. The more I can take off with the larger tools, the less work there is, of course. So that split's going to run out, and it's not going to bother me that it does. So I break that bit off, flip it end for end, and do the same down here. working just outside that line I made. So now you can see this split is starting to come to me like that. And then it's just a little bit more to take off. With the hatchet. And that's ready for planing.